Okay, so because I had checked the service intervals on the BMW, that's why I decided to change the oil. Look at this, right? So vehicle status, engine oil, and it does tell me the engine oil needs to be changed in 1700 miles or November 2025. Now I'm not going to wait 1700 miles because it's just turning 145,000 miles on the vehicle. It's about 13,000 miles from the last oil change, so I decided to change that one. Okay, so let's proceed with the oil change. Just make sure when you changing the oil, the engine is warm. Do not change the oil on cold engine because it flows better, and also right now all the particles, whatever is being on it in the oil, I mean that's circulating, so it doesn't settle down at the bottom of the oil pan. Make sure it's warm. Good, it's not too warm, because if it's too warm you end up burning your hand. Just about 40-50 degrees, that's good enough. So hello again. We're going to change the oil on a BMW 530e 2017. As you guys can see, I'm prepared. Car's already been jacked up. I've got the oil pan, I've got the oil for it. It's a manual 20 liters of oil drum. It's a 530. As long as it complies with a BMW, it doesn't really matter what kind of oil you put into the engine, as long as it says 4LL, which is long life. I've got my socket set, the new filter, and a rag, basically, or a cloth, to plug in the oil filler, so make sure nothing goes in there by the time you remove the oil filter. Alright, so let's get started. First and foremost, when you check up the car, just make sure that it's give yourself a sufficient height to work on, and also you have the axle stand, in place for security. You don't want the car to be dropped on your head by the time you working in there. So once you're under the car, you remove this cover in here. It's just a twist. It's a twist, and it comes off, and voila, that gives access to the oil bolt, release bolt, which is probably, by the looks of it, it looks like a 17mm socket. Okay, so car is all jacked up, bonnet is open. Need to remove the engine cover and just put it aside. Once it's done, what we need to remove is, that's the oil filter cap housing. To give better access, you need to remove this panel what covers the ECU and just put it aside. Okay, that's a 22mm socket, if I'm not mistaken. So here we go. First and foremost, what I would love to do is take out the oil filter and check that the new one, what I have, it's the same compatible. So I was wrong, that's a 27mm socket, not a 22. Apologies for everyone. Okay, so here we go. Let's loosen this one up. First and foremost, I should open the oil cap to release any pressure in it. There you go, if there's any. So that's coming out like that, and try to catch any oil comes out of it on the rag, so you don't basically spew it everywhere. Okay, and here it comes. Let's check if the oil filter actually matches the new filter. So here is the filter. Let's open this one up. does look the same, so we are good to go. Okay, so first and foremost, it also comes with a kit. This one come out. Okay, so the kit has a new O-ring and a new copper washer for the bolt below where the oil pan is. Okay, so let's take this one off. Let's put it on it. With the use of a screwdriver, we can take off the old O-ring. So make sure it comes off. Like this. Change it to a new one. I always lubricate the O-ring a little bit, so when you put it actually on back into the casing, the cover will not destroy the O-ring, and it gives you a perfect seal. So there it is. Actually, what I'm going to do is put this one on, so it can actually clip onto the place it needs to be with that little nib in the bottom. That's it, that's in now. It's the O-ring on. Give it a little help with the ratchet. That's it, here we go. Okay. And tighten this one up. No need to go crazy. That's it, just feel it. There's a Newton meter, but I have no idea what that is, so I just always do it by feel. Okay? Okay, since the phone is not mounted and I don't have any small stand in here, I need to do this by just in hand in here. So I've already taken off the torque, loosened up the actual bolt, so I'm just trying to take this one out. There we go. It's coming out slowly. Oil pan is underneath that. You can use any sort of plastic bucket what's okay to take the heat what comes out from the oil. And then here we go. See the screws out already. Keep coming out by hand. I think you can feel the rest, and there we go, and it's done. It's always advisable to wear any gloves, right, to protect your hand for the mineral oil. It's not exactly going to moisturize your skin, if you know what I mean. And here it is. Just let the oil drip down. That's the state of the oil after 15,000 miles. That's pretty bad if I'm looking at it, but computer still says I've got another 3, maybe even 400 miles to go, if not more. Okay, so let this one drain out. In the meantime, I'm going to change. In the meantime, I'm going to change the actual washer on this bolt. Okay, so it does look like that the oil has drained significantly. It's only just dripping. So what I need to do is I'm going to clean it with a cloth, if I can hold the phone at the same time, and I'm going to put the bolt back. Right, let's just move this away a little bit. Oil pan, still dripping a bit, but it's alright. Here we go. Okay, so bolt goes back. See if I can manage to do this with one hand. That's the struggle with the left hand, because I'm a right-handed guy. Oh Christ, hang on. So managed to put it back finally. Do a hand tight as much as I can. Then get the socket set, so that's the bolt back in there. I'm going to put the socket on it, and here we go. Tighten this one up. This doesn't need to be either massively tight, just to give it a seal with the copper washer. And then make sure I'm gonna wipe off any excess oil just in case. And that's it, job done. Just need to fill the oil in, and that's us done. Okay, I'm going to put the cover back, which is in here. That's BMW done it very well with this one, because all you have to do is place it back, twist it. You don't need to take off all these, protection on the bottom. That's great. Alright, so let's put the oil back into the engine. Okay, so what I've done in here is I put 5.3 liters from this big manual drum into the scaled old triple QX bottle, plastic bottle, so I can handle it easier, and also I can see the quantity. Okay, so it takes 5.3 liters exactly. Okay, so here we go. Funnel goes in, 5.3 liters goes into the engine. I usually do it horizontal, the bottle, because it's getting air constantly. It's not gonna blub bubble in here. It's easier to put it in. It's not gonna go absolutely everywhere in your engine, which could mess everything up. Also, if it's got burn, it's going to cause you a very serious smell. Okay, so there you go. That's it in. So bottles away. Wipe this off. Wipe that off. Try not to wipe it inwards. Put the cap back. Wipe off whatever you spilled. And that's it, pretty much done. After this, we need to check the quantity of the oil, which is you to turn the ignition on. Just give me a minute. That's the engine cover back on. Make sure we're not leaving any tools around the vehicle before we close down the bonnet. And there we go. Job complete. That's the oil change done. I need to reset the actual service light. So what do? I've got this BimmerLink application which is linked to the car through a Bluetooth device. So I'm going to go on it. So BimmerLink, connect, Unicar scan, continue, right? It's establishing the connection to the vehicle. Oops. So here we go. It's connecting right now. I have, I think I had to turn on the ignition. It happens. Right, there you go. So you got service reset, reading service data. Front brake no, rear brake no, because that's done. Engine oil, it says I still got 2,680 kilometers left to drive, which is about 1,700 miles. That's what it said. So what I need to do is I'm going to reset it. Reset service, yes, because we have changed the oil already. So that's done. And I'm good to go for another 28,310 miles. Now I wonder what that's going to be in miles actually. Let's find out. Okay, so going back to my vehicle status, engine oil, and there you go. Another 18,000 miles to go, which is obviously I probably won't wait for it, but there you go. Because it's a fully synthetic oil, you can change this every 18,000 miles. And also because it's a plug-in hybrid, so I mean I usually drive about 80, no, I'd say 60 miles a day on electric only. That's basically from the house, as long as it's, you know, going to be empty, the battery, and then switches on to petrol, and then I charge it at work and then coming back as well, plus downhills and whatnot. So about 60 miles a day. So you can take that, take it as a, probably you drive about 12,000 miles, to be honest, out of 18,000 on petrol alone. But I mean, I'll leave it to you. The often you change the oil, the better. But that's again just my opinion. I hope the video was useful for everybody who watched it. And that's how you change the oil on a BMW 530e.